It's finally happened. The most extreme, most severe, most radical counterculturalist out there has finally been taken down. That's right, they finally exposed Grummz, aka Mark Kern. And what did they expose him as? The most stereotypically Asian man to ever exist. That's right, Mark Kern, an Asian man, was found out 20 years ago. He ran a porn site. That's it. He ran a fetish porn site. That's the big expose that everyone was waiting to do. These people, airbagged, Alyssa Mercanti, all of these people were out here saying that they had the biggest expose, that it would ruin Mark Kern's career as a counterculturalist. It would destabilize him. It would ruin his life. And the expose is that for about 10 years, before he got to start working at Blizzard, he on the side ran a femdom fetish porn site that focused entirely on consenting stuff, primarily focusing on softcore porn, so no actual naked people. It would focus on, people just doing what people do. And it was predominantly literature. He focused literature because that was the niche. And he made a fuck ton of money doing it. That's the expose that they had on Grummz that had to ruin his career, was that he's just what you'd expect a smart Asian guy in tech to do, to run a porn company. And I wish I was making this up. But he came out, he undermined them entirely because he had an insider on their group, and that insider told Grummz that they were about to expose him. So what did Grummz do? He goes on Flashcast and drops all of the news before they can, undermining them completely, forcing them to drop the video expose that had nothing on him. He literally says more incriminating stuff during Flashcast than the video had on him because he came with his own receipts. Also, apparently, his mom's hot, so, yeah, hit me with that MILF. This might be the funniest, biggest, liberal self-own I've ever seen. Now, like, subscribe, and let's actually get into this. So, coming from Smash JT, Alyssa Mercanti is caught in a secret Discord harassing Smash JT and Grummz. You don't have to refer to yourself in the third party, we know who's writing this article. Now, of course, it's worth first mentioning that Alyssa Mercanti is currently involved in a lawsuit against Smash JT, claiming that he was doing satirical harassment, or sarcastic harassment, or something along those lines. A crime that doesn't exist. She was accusing Smash JT of doing that. And now she's gone out, and after doxing him in the court filing, she now has been caught in a Discord server that you have to pay $10 a month to access. And what is in this Discord? Constant attack campaigns, constant attack orders, and requests for private, illegal information on Smash JT, Grummz, and many others. Specifically, Alyssa Mercanti directly requesting illegal information. Now, it's funny because during the whole Grummz thing, they tried to phrase him as a failed pornographer, but apparently he made bank. And more importantly, and weirdly, it was a family business, as in his mom ran the books. He ran the coding, and he also would rig up the lights and whatnot for when they were doing photo shoots. Interesting guy, I will say. Definitely as stereotypically Asian as it comes. His mom would help, and his mom was apparently a Playboy bunny. Can I get that access to that issue, please? Now, as mentioned, on March 26th, Western Kabuki, the podcast who did this, who had gone out with a scoop had posted, "We have a scoop about Grummz," and tried to reach him for comment before we publish, but he is shutting down all routes of communication. He is nervous. And that is where the person, Gigabear, I hope it's the right kind of bear, had gone in, and despite having many issues with Grummz, reached out and said, "Hey, I've been in this Discord server for a while. It's a paid-to-access Discord server. Here's the information as to what's going on," and told Grummz what they had on him. And so Grummz said, "Fuck them, I'm gonna beat him to the punch." Because here's the nice thing about an expose and shame. You can only be bullied and canceled by what you're ashamed of. As the famous adage goes, you're only canceled if you let yourself be, especially in this marketplace. One that is not concerned with cancel culture. Even the people who have been canceled, such as John Della Rose or George Torch Games, are still allowed to speak and still have a sizable audience despite them kicking the hornet's nest from time to time, because we ultimately value the flow of ideas. If you silence someone, they can't open their own mouth and expose themselves, which is exactly what people like Western Kabuki have done here. Now, apparently Western Kabuki once started out as an actual podcast, which makes sense, I guess, why wouldn't you? But it quickly devolved into a bunch of failed journalists coming together to basically orchestrate smear campaigns against YouTubers and other counterculturalists, with people like Alyssa Mercanti, Nick Calandra, McDizzle, Airbag, Thiefpaw, Spew, a bunch of different people who have been very active in the pro-culture thing, or the anti-culture groups. These people, who are all mostly professionals, work together to dox information, to put information out there, to call Grummz' wife, to call people Grummz has worked for, to call Smash JT's wife, call her company, call him, call his past employers. These people are orchestrating extremely focused attack campaigns against the people they don't like, which, by the way, is also a harassment crime. And of course, the big question is, how did they get this information? Well, it starts off with Thief Paw going and acquiring his email address and then using that to find passwords on different account sites by taking advantage of data breaches that were published to areas such as the dark web, which I kind of forgot existed until Grummz started ranting about it during Flashcast. But the shocking reveal, over 20 years ago, Grummz apparently operated a softcore anime BDSM site that published commissioned art and fanfiction, so they were paid to do it. Fully legal, subscription-based, and tame by today's standards. I'm not really sure what the big gotcha here was exactly, and the group pathetically spent days hyping the scoop, only to be left with nothing remotely scandalous, except their own criminal tactics. So what I'm getting here is no futa, no tentacles, nothing of value. What's the point? But the greatest thing that Grummz exposed is the fact that the people here, the people who are part of this, engaged in what is known as plain text passwords, which is a thorough federal crime. It is illegal to post someone's password specifically for malicious intent, and that's what they've done. They posted his password so you could tie him to things, and because Grummz was a fool as a kid, and I probably am a fool too, we'll have to see, use the same password for multiple things. And by doing that, they were able to track him down through various websites. And the funniest thing is, they went with this expose despite the fact that another one of the users, going by the username B, was apparently found to be Wash Your Crack on X, admitted they couldn't prove anything, but then proceeded to post Grummz' private login credentials anyway. So they are literally indicting themselves into a crime despite the fact they have nothing to go off. They have nothing to ruin Grummz' identity or persona whatsoever, and yet they still were willing to put the evidence out there that they are actively committing a crime. And the best part is, on Flashcast the other night, Grummz went out there and specifically stated that he has all intent to expose all this information to the FBI, actually, today, because today's the end of the weekend. And probably the best part about this is not only are the people who actively took part in it culpable, according to what Grummz was saying, though I don't know the truth behind it, though Grummz says he had a law degree, is that all of this is criminal, not just for the leakers, but the people who ran the Discord server, including the Western Kabuki podcast, because they were hosting illegally acquired and illegal to have information on there without moderating the space. And then shortly after that, Alyssa Mercanti had also left a comment on the same Discord, with her saying that Smash JT is the next target, as she asks, "Hi, hello people, I may need some info help for reasons regarding Jeff Smash JT Tarzia's previous employment. If anyone has any info, can you please ping me on here?" So here she is, releasing Jeff's full name as well, and also putting reasons for code, but we all know why. They want to try to cancel him. They want to go after him next. They also, of course, bully other YouTubers, such as attacking Stuttering Craig, who had done his best to platform Nick Calandra. So Nick Calandra is stabbing Stuttering Craig in the back for trying to help him. And so, of course, even with such a small own, something that honestly makes me respect Grummz a million times more than I did before, what's the point? What is the reason? Well, Smash GT doesn't go into too much here, but I really believe the actual reason is because they think it'll prove hypocrisy. Even though, to my knowledge, Grummz has never once said anything bad about porn, and more importantly, Grummz is pro-Gamergate. He's one of the people who was fighting for the sexy costumes. He was the one who started the petition to reinstate the sexy costumes in Stellar Blade. That was all Grummz. So what exactly is their goal here? Well, the goal is they think, at least their goal, based on my assumptions, is they think that by exposing Grummz as a degenerate 20 years ago, it's going to cause people like George Torch Games, John Della Rose, and a bunch of other more puritanical extremist people like Razor's Fist as well to cancel their association with him, because the left thinks that this violates the ethics that can go along with how we associate with people. But we don't disassociate with people because they make something like porn 20 years ago. It'd be one thing if Grummz was doing, say, lolly stuff, but he wasn't. And if they had that, that would have been their smoking gun. Though I know for a fact even if they had lolly, they wouldn't have dropped it, because I guarantee you most members of the Western Kabuki podcast probably like it too. But this is an ideological warfare. The only reason they give two shakes of a rat's ass about Grummz is because he is the most prevalent voice in the counterculture gaming space. He is the biggest force. He is the person who is responsible for the most amount of changes, including waking people like Lords of the Fallen up. And he also has a direct ear, semi-direct ear, to Elon Musk, as Elon Musk has responded and retweeted Grummz on multiple occasions. And let's not forget, people like Airbag, one of the things they did was when Grummz had exposed a previous game, that mouth-washing game I think it was, they went out and they drew pictures of characters from the game beating Grummz to death with a hammer. Every single one of the members of this Western Kabuki podcast unironically want to kill Grummz with a hammer to bash his skull in. And the tools that they have used are far from normal. This is not what someone who has a healthy disagreement or issue with these people do. This is what a psychopath does. And what is it they've done? They've docked his address and family photos, and yet they've also done that to Smash. They posted pictures of his pets and threatened to kill his pets. They threatened to kill him. They created smear campaigns using impersonators pretending to be him. They spread false rumors and lie about him, including an infamous breast milk theft lie, which apparently the breast milk theft incident happened after Grummz left Blizzard, but one person falsely attributed it to Grummz to disenfranchise him. They also, at one point in time, published a porn game using the same name as the game he was developing, because like a fool, he didn't trademark the game name, so he's got no recourse of action, but it makes it so that his brand seems to be tied to that. And then, of course, they also put out an alleged bounty on his life. With alleged is really Smash. I know you're trying to cover yourself, but there was a legitimate bounty named and put out for the head of Kern. And this falls under so many crimes, including this CFAA Act, which prevents you from using any of this illegally acquired information to orchestrate harassment campaigns. They violated laws on doxing, stalking, and publishing private credentials for the purpose of harassment, all of which happened in writing in a server they now hide behind a paywall to escape scrutiny. But the best part is, both Discord has these logs and can be requested to provide them, and GigaBear also has photographic evidence of these logs being real. What I also find to be mildly interesting is they never actually updated his Wikipedia page. I would have thought that these people, being the psychopaths that they are, the first thing they would have done is try to rewrite history, as that's what they always do. They always love to rewrite history. And so I would have expected them to immediately go and add that into his wiki page, but it's not here. But what's weird is it probably will be added here anyway, because Kern has come out and fully admitted to all of it on Flashcast, and I'm sure he'd be writing half of it himself, and hopefully he includes a picture of his mom. So tell me, leftoids, was it worth it? Did you get the results that you wanted? You exposed Grummz for being a stereotypically Asian man. You made a lot of people have a lot more respect for him than did before. You made Flashcast over $1,000 in one night on Super Chat to people asking Grummz questions. And all for what? So you could commit a felony? So that you could go to federal prison and be marked as a felon for the rest of your life? Is that what you wanted? Is that the result that you hope to gain? You exposed nothing. You made Grummz a significantly more interesting person. And you know what? I had issues with Grummz because I do think he's a little pusillanimous. But that doesn't matter too much, does it now? Because you've now made him a very successful pornographer and someone who is actually worth talking to at parties. Congratulations, leftoids. This is your creation. You have failed in every single way, and I really hope you continue to do this. And Alyssa Mercanti, all I've got to say to you is good luck on that lawsuit. You're gonna need it. And just as I was getting ready to post this video, the situation got funnier as they're trying to push even more false claims, such as claims of tax fraud, which never happened, claiming that he's embezzling money for his game development. By the way, Grummz hasn't accepted a dime from game development from his backers in several months because he doesn't feel he's provided enough to justify getting any money. And most recently, Opera GX, a web browser, an entire web browser that was usually pretty based and usually on the side of the audience, are citing against Grummz, claiming they're putting together a project, a thing that'll make it so that you will remove Grummz's face anytime it shows up on your browser. And also plenty of details of them going out and creating even more false reports, more false community notes, sending him more death threats, sending him the video of people beating him to death with hammers. They're sending him that one again. They're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down because they know they've lost. And it's absolutely hysterical to see. Good try, good luck, and good riddance. But that's pretty much all I've got. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this, and I will see you guys on the next one.